straight year, these two hockey superpowers will meet again in the World Junior Hockey Championship playoffs. For the Canadians, there is a gold medal dream and thoughts of revenge.
It's a short one for Canada. Hit it beautiful move. Shot on goal. What a play by Geraldine. It is over. Canada, world champions. Canada, world junior hockey champions for the 5th year in a row. It's mission accomplished. Canada grabs gold. They are world champions.
TSN proudly presents the 2000 World Junior Hockey Championship today from Skellefteå, Sweden. Semifinal action as Canada meets Russia. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to TSN's continuing coverage of the World Junior Hockey Championship. I'm Gord Miller. Since this tournament went to a playoff format in 1996, Canada and Russia have met in a medal round every single year. Canada won the first 2 meetings. The Russians have won the last 2. Both of those games went to overtime. For the winner today, there was a berth in the gold medal game and a chance to meet the winner of the earlier semifinal played today between the Czech Republic and the United States. That was won handily by the Czechs. Milan Kraft, who plays for Prince Albert of the Western Hockey League, had the 3rd goal for the Czechs as they romped to an easy 4-1 victory. It should be pointed out the United States was without coach Jeff Jackson, who went back to the U.S. to attend to an urgent family matter. For Team Canada, a chance to meet the juggernaut of this tournament, the Russians, but we really don't know how good they are. The Russians rolled through an easy B pool. For more on this game today, let's send you now to Paul Romanuk and Gary Green.
Hey, thanks, Gord. Would you have it any other way? Canada, Russia, a big game at the World Junior Hockey Championship. Just as a footnote to what Gord was saying, they've met for the last 4 years. The last 2 years in overtime. The 2 years prior to that, games decided by 1 goal. It is always close. There is tremendous respect from one team to the other on both sides.
Well, and for Canada, for good reason, because this Russian team is a good Russian team. They scored 30 goals. They've only allowed 4 goals against them, folks, in 5 games. They've got the #1 power play. When it comes to penalty killing, well, they haven't yet allowed a power play goal against them. So they are a good team. But at the same time, Canada feels that they haven't yet to play their A game. They feel that against Team USA, they played their A game for 2 periods. That's the type of game they have to play. They have to be strong along the boards, maybe not do so much dumping the puck into the corners, but maybe a little bit more chipping it in along the boards. We'll see how the first period turns out and whether or not the Russian defense give up that blue line easily. If they do, look for Canada to start carrying that puck in a little bit more.
And this is the biggest game of the tournament for both of these teams, absolutely. And with more on the Russian perspective, here's Bob McKenzie.
Well, Paul, Russian head coach Peter Vorobiev is an old-school Russian head coach. That is to say, he's cut from the same cloth as Viktor Tikhonov. Discipline, pride, all those things that we saw from Russian teams when they first were exposed to us from 1972 on. And as offensively gifted as Russian teams have been over the years, this coach places a huge emphasis on defense-first philosophy. So much so to the point that he's told his defensemen, if they pinch at the blue line, they're going to sit on the bench for the rest of the game.
Tyler Belk remembers that loss to the Russians last year. For him, revenge is a dish best served on ice.
The World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Esso and the Esso Extra Card. Swipe the card, win and earn. By Air Canada, proud to sponsor hockey coast to coast. In this country, every day is game day. By Royal Bank Financial Group, building relationships 1 customer at a time. And by Nike Hockey. Our goal is not to make the player, but to make the player better. Just do it.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, proud supporters of the CHA.
I've gone much too far, waiting now to say. People would know what's in me, you two might be your.
So, Wayne, you're retired. What's next for the Great One?
I'm thinking about wrestling.
Wrestling?
Wrestling?
Well, who'd have thunk it?
Hey, Great One.
Uh-oh.
Now there's a bicep.
Has Wayne seen that?
Come here.
Here comes trouble.
Hi, Wayne.
Herbert.
How do you like your retirement?
Do you want points? Want to win great prizes? Got an SO Extra card? So use it. Now you can win and earn at SO. Swipe the card, win, and earn.
Monday, more international hockey drama is on the way from TSN. Right after the World Junior Semifinals, check out the next generation, the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge. It's the championship game from Timmins, Ontario, only on TSN.
The World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
Last year, as powerful as the Russians were offensively, they were great defensively, and they had excellent goaltending. They only gave up 10 goals in the entire tournament. They have been great in goal again this year. Alexei Volkov will draw the starting assignment for this one. He's given up only 2 goals on 56 shots. And at the other end, Maxime Ouellet has been the go-to man for Canada every single game. He's given up only 8 goals on 161 shots. This, the biggest game of his young hockey career. The referee is Danny Kerman from Switzerland. A Czech and a Slovak on the lines. Canada in white, they are the visiting team. The Russians are in red. They are the home team and have last change. Remember last year, the gold medal game. It was the second time in the 90s that Canada met the USSR/Russia in a gold medal game. And it was Artem Shuberov scoring the winner at 5:13 of sudden death. Will Canada's approach, game plan-wise, be similar to last year? Will they change things around? Who knows? And to quote William Goldman, nobody knows anything. That's
well,
why
I'll tell you
that's
one
why
thing.
they play the game.
Manny Malhotra's line's going to start things off. That's no surprise. This line has been a good checking line, a line that has created lots of turnovers by getting in on top of the defense early.
It is Malhotra, Bauk, and Nielsen starting things off for Canada. And that is Evgeny Fedorov taking the face-off for the Russians. No relation, by the way. And this one is underway. The biggest crowd of the tournament so far for a Canadian game. We may finally get some atmosphere here in this barn, and hopefully the players will feed off of that. Up around the boards. Tereshchenko trying to work it out for the Russians. Up there, down low is Bauk. Back to the line. Rossiter shoots. That's blockered away. The first shot on goal for Canada. Puck just outside the line. Malhotra was upended by Fedorov. The puck cleared in, and Canada will change.
Good first shift by Malhotra's line. They got the puck deep. They got to take some bodies out there, and they were able to contain. Now Canada needs a little bit more of that each and every shift.
Balandin clears it up ahead for the Russians. Booch had it knocked away from him. Balandin back to pick it up. Out there for Canada. Lundmark up trying to get something going in the forecheck. Puck chopped in over the line by Lappin. And Canada controlling in their own zone. Matt Kinch getting a little bit of help. Biron throws it up the middle. Heatley was lurking in that neutral zone looking for a puck. This one rolls in, and Volkov will hang on to it. We are 1:15 into this one. Canada and Russia in the semis. Take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Chapters.ca. Just you and a few million gift ideas.
This is the line that's got to get it going for Canada today. Ribeiro's been disappointing in this tournament so far. Chouinard's done his job on the wing, scoring some big goals. Back in the blue line, nothing's going to change there either. This young man has gradually worked his way into a pretty regular position on the blue line.
This year's not even over, and I'm already looking forward to watching Bouwmeester next year. McCarthy for Canada over to Bouwmeester. He'll move up. Long shot, and Canada was offside. Let's take a look at the Russian starting lineups.
Well, this player is no surprise to anyone. Florida's first-round draft pick. Plays for the Barrie Colts in the Canadian Junior Hockey League. Muratov, though, he has been their top scorer in the tournament so far. Back in the blue line, watch for these two guys because offensively they are great. Lubomov has scored 2 power play goals. He's had 3 goals in the tournament. Rantsev is their number 2 scorer in the team. 2 goals and 6 assists.
Notice the Russians go with 8 defensemen as opposed to 7 for Canada and 7 for most teams. Bouwmeester fires it up. Ribeiro trying to catch up to it, number 35. He's a guy who's got to get it going. Had a couple assists up on the board for Canada, but they want him to start scoring. Ribeiro coming in with Chouinard and Pettinger. That's Ribeiro bumped along the boards. Chouinard following up, but Fedorov clears it up around the boards for the Russians and out. Very skilled Russian team, no surprise there. Schmidtke, one of the most skilled, just dumped the puck in. Back for Canada. Jackman. Long pass. Saucers it up ahead. Ryder trying to chase it down to the corner. Lubomov got a piece of him. Now Ryder trying to get that puck back. Lubomov. Long pass up ahead. Zinoyev got a shot in on goal, and that is grabbed, and Ouellette will hang on to it. Not surprisingly, Canada progressing towards what they hope will be a shot at the gold. At this stage of the tournament, their eyes very much on the prize.
Oh, I think the further we go, you can tell the more they're focused. They're obviously seeing the end of the tunnel, if you want, and everything that they've sacrificed in the last 3 weeks, they're starting to see the end of it and see the reward. And I found that the guys were a lot more focused. They obviously got their game faces on here on the way to the arena. You could tell sitting in the bus that the guys were really focused and looking forward to playing this game.
Off the face-off, puck back to the point. Winding up with a shot. Ryzantsev fired one, and that goes up and out of play.
The only problem with Canada doing a good job forechecking and taking the body by dumping it in is, well, they're going to have to be sharp looking for that long pass. Canada had 3 guys deep, all right. They were doing a good job forechecking. But look at the breakout all of a sudden. Right up through the middle there with that long pass. And the Russians are extremely good. When it comes to those long passes, accurate passes, they are very sharp.
Here's Kinch. Pokes it out for Canada. Here's Lubomov. Canada not hanging back too much at this stage. They're going to change now, so they pull out of the zone. Pass up ahead. Fedorov is caught in open ice. Nielsen got a piece of him. Puck cleared up ahead, and that bounces past about the intended receiver. And icing is called on Canada. We are 3 minutes and 35 seconds into what's going to be a long, tough one.
The new Dakota Quad Cab comes with a nice big bed and big back doors that lead to a great big cab for putting things you don't want outside, inside, and vice versa. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Oops. That's better. The Dodge Dakota Quad Cab. Big room, big doors, big difference.
Anticipating and taking away is that great center ice hit right in the middle of your screen.
Maxims with a shot. That's steered away by Ouellette.
Nielsen really clocked Fedorov right there.
Into the corner. Tarashenko trying to get it out. Comes back around, Jackman after it. Tereshchenko up there, number 27, forechecking. Fedorov up there too. Fedorov knocked it loose, picked up. Here's Smirnov, trying to turn away from the check. Maxims clears it in, and it's just off the glass and out by Rossiter. Puck tapped in deep. Smirnov kicks it into gear. And play whistle down, a penalty coming up. And it's going to be an interference call against Canada. Looks like Rossiter's going to go to the box, and the Russians will get a chance on the power play.
Rossiter stood up on Tereshchenko and ended up putting him down hard. Rossiter just saw him coming and ended up sticking that leg out. Down he went, and Rossiter ends up with the interference penalty. I thought Rossiter got a little bit better piece of him with his arm than he actually did. It was his leg that did most of the damage in sending him to the penalty box.
Russians with an outstanding power play. They seem to have that every year. Quick, accurate passes. But Canada's penalty killing has been great in this tournament. Lapin fires it in. Helebnikov up there looking for it. This is Helebnikov down back of the goal. Kicks it up onto his stick and moves it to the corner. Balandin works it up. Boot, number 18. Boot slides it down low, takes the return feed. Esipov, number 23, is high in the slot, but this is Boot with the puck. Works it down low. In front, Boot just fired it wide. Esipov works it up. Helebnikov dropped it down and headed towards the net. Back for Esipov. He works it over. Puck fired there by Balandin. That's knocked aside. 1:02 to go in the power play for the Russians. Balandin moves it up around back of the goal. Boot. Look at the speed with which they move that puck around. Helebnikov couldn't pick it up in the corner, and finally Canada gets a break. No, they don't. The linesman got in the way. And right back in, Lapin drops it off. Helebnikov waiting still. Helebnikov shoots. That was steered away by Ouellet. 32 seconds to go in the power play. Finally, Canada can change up the penalty killers. That was a lousy break for the Canadians because they did clear it, but the linesman got in the way and cut it off.
Peter Vorobiev, who did not coach the team last year in Winnipeg, who was supposed to have coached it but ended up in the hospital prior to. He did coach the team in Helsinki the year previous. As Bob McKenzie told you, is one of those old school coaches. He's tough on his team. He is tough on them as far as positional play goes, and he has got a very sound defensive team here.
Along the boards, Jackman trying to bang it out. Puck down low. Schvidke back to the line. Safronov moves it to the boards. Tereshchenko fired it across through the slot. Schvidke, number 11, was there, but he was being marked closely by Bauk, who knocked it up over the glass. 14 seconds to go in the power play.
The first unit for the Russians when they came out in the power play didn't go to your typical screen in front of the net. Instead, they leave lots of room open here for Ouellet to see the puck. However, what they are very good at, whenever pucks end up coming Ouellet's way, you watch, they'll end up with guys in on top of Ouellet very quickly. All of a sudden, you could see all three of them were headed right for Ouellet. They've got great quickness. They'll stand back, wait for that perfect opportunity. When they get that shot, look for them to jump in on top for those rebounds quickly.
That's a great point by you. They just kind of lurk in the weeds, and you got a good look at it there. Then jump in right on top of you looking for a rebound. Yeah, high stick down along the boards, knocked down Bauk. And we're going to have a penalty call against the Russians. Bauk took it along the boards, and Canada will get a chance on the power play in 1 second when Rossiter steps out.
Right along the left boards, Bauk got the high stick. He dropped to his knees right away, but the referee saw the incident, and right away was quick to hand out the penalty. There you could see
it was more of an elbow than a high stick.
Yeah. Safronov ended up coming in, and he was the one that did the damage to Bauk.
Tyler Bauk sometimes is Reminds me a little of Mike Ricci. He's a magnet for elbows and sticks and getting whacked and hacked. I guess it's just the way he plays. Always in there. Mixing up. So Canada's now on the power play. Russians got 2 shots on goal during their man advantage. McCarthy and Richards back in the blue line. That's been pretty standard as the main power play unit for Canada. And this is Ribeiro up front with Bell and Chouinard. Well, these guys like to get it rolling. Richards along the boards, not able to keep it in.
Nike Skills Development Camps encourage minor hockey players to improve their fundamental skills of the game. Program coaching manuals provide easy, progressive techniques to teach our next generation of great players. Nike, proud supporters of the CHA.
That was an intentional offside, so the faceoff goes back into Canadian territory.
Ribeiro, who played back in the point for a while with the Montreal Canadiens this year, has not been on the point. Richards has been back there. He's been up front. They're looking for him to break out, especially offensively on the power play today. He's only had 2 assists. More disappointing is how few shots on net he's had in this whole tournament.
Off the faceoff, the puck just bounced by Smirnov. Yet Claude Julien knows what he can do. He coached him with Canada's national under-18 team, a team that won a gold medal a couple of years ago.
He just needs for him to turn it up big time here tonight.
Puck cleared in, and another offside called on Canada. They have 1:12 to go. And they call that icing, actually, so they move it back all the way into the Canadian zone. 1:12 to go on the power play.
Well, you're talking about Julien and Ribeiro. They know each other very well, and Ribeiro also knows that Julien is expecting him to turn it up in a big way today. I mentioned that Ribeiro hasn't had many shots on net. He's only had 7. On the other hand, he's also played with Chouinard, and he's given Chouinard the puck a fair amount. Chouinard leads Canada when it comes to shots on net. And Chouinard's had 3 goals in this tournament.
Here's Kent. And Reed will start off. This guy has been so impressive. Great wheels. Through center, he throws it up, and Canada having lots of trouble. They get called again for icing. Are they just tight or what?
Well, the passing's got to be on, and right now it is not great. And they might be a little bit tight, Paul. At the same time, Claude Julien knows that tightness has got to go away quickly. I thought they kind of got rid of that early by doing a good job forechecking. But Canada has not had an awful lot of success on their power play in this tournament.
1 minute to go in this power play. And the 3rd faceoff in their own zone during a power play. Not a flattering stat. Here comes McCarthy. Gets it up ahead to Richards. In over the blue line. Richards looking around. Reed sets up. Lundmark is the other forward out there. McCarthy fires it in. Up back of the net. And the puck was gloved ahead. And the faceoff will go back outside the blue line again.
Well, somebody that I don't think coaching staff maybe expected as much of, and he's definitely delivered, has been Brandon Reed. He's only 5'8", 165 pounds, but he's got all of our attention here. He is leading Canada in the goal-scoring department with his 3 goals and 3 assists. He has shown his tremendous abilities for jumping into the play. He's got great quickness. He's a good puck handler, and he's got a real good work ethic. So the scouts will probably reevaluate him when it comes to this summer's draft based on his play here.
Here comes Richards up to the line. He'll come in, and offside called on Canada. 23 seconds left in what has been a very scrambly power play.
Well, Spets has got more of an opportunity, and we expected that. He's really kind of taken the place of Heatley on the power play on that 2nd unit. Spets has looked very cool and calm, and we said right off the bat when this tournament started that Claude Julien wasn't going to overuse either of these 2 16-year-old players. He was going to give them an opportunity to ease into this tournament. We've seen a little bit more and more ice time as it's developed.
Spezza with 2 assists so far in the tournament. Puck comes up and out. 12 seconds left in Canada's power play. Richards was under siege there. Vitke was watching him closely. Here's Lundmark. Puck kicked up ahead to Reed. Wheeling in over over the blue line. Reed unloads. It was blocked by a set of shin guards. Teams are back at even strength. Lundmark along the wall. Battling there for Canada. Trying to get it to Spezza. Here's Spezza down low. Driving in. Spezza still with that puck. Centers it. It rolls around. Canada can't get a shot. Back at the line. Rossiter fires one. And it was blocked and hops out. Zinoyev after it, number 13, but Rossiter had to be wary, and he was. Reed is dumped there, and a penalty coming up against Russia. Reed was caught with a knee there at the blue line, and Canada will again go on the power play. We have played 8 minutes and 53 seconds of the first period. Canada's second power play chance coming up.
It's a fact. A Whopper has 40 grams of fat. But Subway has 7 delicious sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less. To burn off those calories from that additional fat, you'd have to do 1,785 jumping jacks. Subway, it's the way a sandwich should be.
For 6 seasons, we've brought you the biggest names in the game. Join Brett Lindros for the show that brings you closer to the players. Be a Player 2000. See it. Live it. TSN.
Muratov, their leading scorer, is in the penalty box right now for tripping. Kneeing, tripping. I thought it was a little bit more of a knee than it was a trip, but he ended up getting Brandon Reed, and right after that, Spezza didn't like that check, and he ended up running over Zinovjev for the Russian team. Just ran him right over at the blue line.
Muratov with 6 goals and 2 assists so far in this tournament. Canada with its second power play didn't get a shot on goal during the first one. It was terrible. They couldn't get in onside.
But for a power play to work, your passing, your timing has to be right on. And so far, Canada haven't been able to display that.
1:40 to go in this power play, and here comes Ribeiro. Drops it up. Pass up ahead for Kinch. Rolled on him there at the blue line. Bell fires it in. Ribeiro and Chouinard up on top of it. Chouinard along the boards, knocked away from him and cleared.
If I were Canada with this quick Russian team, I'd tend to stay away from those long passes and go to the short passes instead. Work the puck back and forth. Canada are pretty skilled when it comes to those short passes, but the Russians can sure anticipate those long ones.
Pass up ahead. Chouinard couldn't quite get his stick on it. Hustles up hard. Richards up there in support. Richards has the puck. Gets it out in front. Chouinard works it over. Puck fired high and wide of the net. That was Ribeiro who unloaded there. This is Bell at the line, and he couldn't squeeze that one enough to keep it in. Go! 52 seconds left in this power play for Canada. Ribeiro bounced off the puck by Belandon. Here's Bell. Puck rolls around. Lapin got it out, and it's fired the rest of the way by Esipov. Ribeiro, 30 seconds to go in the power play. Turns in over the line. Lundmark was trying to work it across, but that lost all kinds of momentum, and Denisov able to clear it.
But they were also trying to go for that longer diagonal pass, and I think that they've got to be careful with those. The Russians have been playing a fairly defensive kill here, but look out.
Here comes McCarthy. In over the line. Drives in. Shooting. Rebound. Shot just wide. McCarthy, who likes to jump up when he can, did right there and got a decent scoring chance. Let's bring in Bob McKenzie right down between the benches. What's up, Bob?
Well, Paul, a lot of frustration on the part of Team Canada, back-to-back power plays and unable to really generate much of anything. The big problem, as I see it at ice level, is that as they're coming up the ice, the Russians are doing an excellent job of taking away the passing lanes that Canada usually uses. It suggests to me this Russian team extremely well coached. They've obviously got some game film of Team Canada, and the options that Canada usually prefers passing as they come up the ice are being taken away from them, and Canada's having to improvise and not do a very good job.
The Russians are doing a pretty good job trapping, aren't they, right now? I mean, taking away those passes and in the neutral zone, this Russian coach, who has seen his team score 30 goals, probably prides himself far more in the fact they've only had 4 scored against them. They have been very defense-oriented, and their system, they've got down to a T.
Puck comes back. Jackman gets it up to the slot. Penalized player back on. Muratov out of the box and right into the action. Dancing his way along the boards, and then he gets slammed there along the wall by Rossiter. Out to center, Nielsen. Tied up there by Duma. Rossiter clears it in. And the puck cleared out there by Zinoyev. An icing call on the Russians. So Canada 0 for 2 in the power play. They did get a shot on goal, but it's still zeros in this one.
So, you're quitting smoking. Great.
I'm giving it my best shot.
It's never easy, but we can help.
With what?
Your willpower and Nicoderm.
The patch?
It's the patch most recommended by doctors. See, only Nicoderm has a rate-controlling membrane. It helps control your cravings whenever you need it, 24 hours a day.
And it works?
Well, it's working for me.
You smoke?
Not anymore.
Nicoderm, most recommended by doctors.
Now, Canadian coaches like to say, move your feet, get going. Well, that was a problem right there. Right in the middle, you can see Nielsen, who back behind the blue line one more time. When he got possession of the puck, you can see the high X in the slot. He ended up standing still, stick handling. Canada's going to beat Russia. They've got to move their feet, and they've got to move the puck quickly.
And the puck there at the side, tied up and held by Volkov. So that's the problem as you see it so far. The quick synopsis, half a period, they're not moving their feet. The passes are too long.
Well, they got off to a great start, Paul. Canada were really forechecking, but right now they've got to start testing this man. Nobody knows how good the Russian goaltending is. There was even a question mark as to whether or not Volkov would end up being the starting goaltender. They both played 2 games in this tournament so far. But Volkov, who's the man who's accustomed to seeing Canadian players playing in the Canadian Junior Hockey League for Halifax, was probably the right choice. At the same time, Canada's got to test him. Last year, people thought that he was weak until the final game.
Ilya Bryzgalov, the backup goaltender for this game, played in the exhibition game when the clubs battled to a 1-1 draw. Birov reels it up around to Nielsen. Bout got it away from him and clears it back in. There's Tyler Bout. Gets it up. Malhotra. Puck was rolling on him. Fedorov gets it across. Barashenko plays it back. Shadlov plays it in, and that's just glove down. Just under 8 minutes to go in this opening period. It is 0-0. Semi-final game, Canada and Russia. The winner meets the Czech Republic for gold tomorrow. That was Chouinard up there at the big head. Pardon me, that was puck rolling down to Heatley. Now Heatley rolls around out, knights it in. Heatley got a piece of that. Fedorov plays it up ahead. Tereshchenko moving in, and traffic got very heavy as he moved in towards the slot. Good back checking by Canada. Lundmark clears it in. But again, you see the danger of that long, accurate pass you talked about, Gary. Here's Rossiter. He fires one. Lundmark moving up after it. Lappin is there. Lappin given a bump. Jackman gets it up ahead, and Reed was just in there offside. Lappin able to hold it up enough to put Reed offside.
In last year's tournament, the Canada wasn't really affected by that long pass until they met the Russians in the gold medal game. And the Russians consistently looked for that up-the-middle pass. Tereshchenko ended up receiving it. It took 2 Canadian players, and delicately so, to take the puck away from him. Pretty nifty play, too. Roulier ended up sliding down, avoiding tripping the Russian player. Stayed out of the penalty box and got the puck away from him. But those long passes we have seen connect, I think, 3 times now in the early part of this game.
Jackman up for Canada, ahead to Rossiter. He clears it in. Denisov couldn't clear it out. Moving in, Jackman pinched in from that right point and couldn't hold on to the pass. Denisov giving a crunch there along the boards. Richards up after it along with Ryder, and the puck touched a player on the Russian bench. So we get a whistle. Played 13:48 of this first period. Always close when these two teams meet. Talked about it off the top of the show. The last two going into overtime, it was Artem Shuberov who scored the winner last year for the Russians. Maxim Afinogenov who scored it the year before. That was a quarterfinal, and the two prior to that, semifinals. That 8-5 victory, coupled with the result of a game between Sweden and Finland, clinched the gold for Canada that year in Red Deer. Zinoyev will just hold back a little bit and allow Kinch to carry it up. Bouncing the puck to the corner. Canadians trying to get in there and take the body, and a good job there by Ribeiro. Ribeiro back in the net, looking for Chouinard or Bell. Biron fired it towards the goal. Lubimov controlling now. Lubimov plays it up. Muratov gets it up. Zinoyev moving in, shoots. Wired that one. Ouellet got down on that and wrestled it away. Zinoyev after it towards the corner. Tried to get it out for Duma, rolled away from him. Biron controlling for Canada. And he will just flip it out to center. Canada wanting to get in a change, and they get a chance to do that now. Pettinger up there bouncing his man. Zinoyev plays it across. Muratov in over the blue line. Fired in towards the slot. Puck rolling around there. Kept it at the line. Fedorov works it over. Ryzantsev fired one, and that was tipped just wide by Zinoyev. Number 13 for the Russians got his stick on that. Malhotra staggered there, coming down the right wing. Shadilov clears it out. Smirnov passing the puck across. Ryzantsev over the line. He drilled one. That was a sizzler that just missed. Big rushing defenseman for the Russians. A big rushing Russian defenseman, I guess you could call him. Malhotra trying to juggle the puck. Smirnov after it. Battles his way. Still got it. Shadilov with a shot. That stopped. And Ouellet is sharp, grabbing that rebound and hanging on. It's time for all Canadians to make a commitment to better our hockey programs. Esquire and the Canadian Hockey Association are working together to develop minor hockey in Canada. $1 from each Esquire watch sold between October and March will go directly to the sponsorship and growth of minor hockey. Check out tsn.ca/ESQ or your participating Esquire dealer. Tell us about your team of superstars. They could receive Bauer merchandise and be the next Team Esquire stars to say,
Well, Canada have been taking the body and taking it well. Ribeiro has really picked up his game. He took the body well there. Watch Pettinger. He just hammers his man, put him right off the puck. And then Malhotra right here saw his man and hammered him.
Puck fired on goal right off the faceoff. Balandin let one go from the blue line, and that is covered up by Ouellet.
So 3 good, clean body checks that really sent a message to the Russians that you got the puck, you're going to get run over out there. But the problem that Canada have is that taking the body is great. It's intense hockey. But you better make sure you jump back into the play quickly because you know that they moved the puck. In all 3 situations, the Russians had already moved the puck.
Jackman being badgered there by Boot. This is Rossiter. Heatley clears it out. Reed couldn't get away. Jackman had it hop over his stick. Boot coming back in. Lappin. Falling down. Still managed to get it towards the goal. Not on the goal, though. Here's Boot. He spun around, and a penalty coming up against Barrett Jackman as he pulled down Anton Boot.
Well, Jackman's going off for a holding penalty. Canada doesn't want to give the Russians too much opportunity here on the power play. Jackman goes to try to take out his man. He ended up getting by him. That was Boot. Anton Boot, who just put on the brakes and veered the other way. The Russians have got great quickness, and they're very agile when it comes to stopping, jumping into a different part of the play. Canada's they've been very good at taking the body early in this hockey game. The problem is you're not going to scare the Russians, that's for sure. They have long known the Canadian game. Claude Julien's got to like the intensity of his hockey club so far, but what they have yet been able to find is that great abilities to jump in the holes and make good passes.
Russia had 2 shots on goal during its first power play. Ryazantsev. Long shot. Gets it up into the corner. Duma after it. Muratov. And Zinoyev up along the boards. Here's Ryazantsev. Ryazantsev over to Lubimov. A wrist shot that hit a leg on the way through. Ryazantsev reloads, and Malhotra with a big play there to drop down in front of that. And he's hurting slightly as he heads to the bench. Meanwhile, Zinoyev. A little bit of room. Moves it across. Lubimov fires a shot. That was blocked. Nice play there. Dropping in front of it was Kyle Rossiter.
That had to hurt. Rossiter took that in the midsection, I believe, but a great block on his part.
Duma on the way out. 58 seconds to go in the Russian power play. 2.5 minutes to play in this opening period. It is 0-0. Shadilov. And watch there by Bell. You see again just that classic Russian hockey. They circle around looking.
So watch when they get in the neutral zone and see if they'll dump it down deep if they get possession of the puck. They used to always try to carry the puck in. Right now they can't even get out of their own end and over the red. Canada have done a great job killing off this penalty so far.
22 seconds to go. Tarashenko bulldozing his way to the top of the slot, runs into lots of traffic, and the puck is cleared by Chris Nielsen.
Nielsen had to fight to get his stick loose, and then he was able to find the puck all in the same time and found room to put it down the ice.
Nielsen finishing his check there after the puck was cleared in. 3 seconds left in the Russian power play, and Russia called for icing.
Malhotra might be hurting a little bit on the bench from blocking a shot. Great effort by Canada. Malhotra just turned to the side and caught that one, I believe, right on his right hand. Rossiter went down, took that one, I still think, midsection, but he got it cleanly. If you're going to go down and block a shot, make sure that it doesn't get through to the goaltender, and for Malhotra and Rossiter, they did it perfectly. Paid the price, used their body. That may have stopped the goal. If not, pretty good scoring chance.
Penalized player back on, so Canada kills that off. The Russians 0 for 2 in the power play.
That should give Canada a lift because they really did a great job killing that penalty off. They were very aggressive and smart out there.
Rossiter to Jackman, back to Rossiter. On the way out. Long feed up. He was looking for Pettinger. Rossiter goes after it. Gets it up ahead. Led Ribeiro just a touch. Ribeiro up there, taking his man along the boards. Lappin gets it across. Here's Boot moving in. Boot cuts across, and he was tied up there by McCarthy. Jackman has lost his stick. The bench trying to get him another one, but Jackman without a stick, and Chouinard will start back. Now right down the middle. Ribeiro in on goal, trying to fight his way loose, and he couldn't get a shot away. Puck back out, Schvidke. Now this is Abietsov moving in. He's taken out back of the goal. Picks up the loose puck, got it out there to the side. Fedorov couldn't get it on net. 20 seconds to go in the period. And the Russians swarming here, or at least were. The puck now cleared out by Reed. And an icing call on Canada.
For over 20 years, Air Canada has sponsored Canadian hockey, from World Championships to 5 regional midget events and the national final, the Air Canada Cup. Each year, Air Canada is pleased to present scholarships to the top players at these tournaments. Air Canada, proud supporters of the CHA.
Well, Ribeiro got an opportunity. Watch from down deep here. Chouinard breaks out right over here on the side, but watch, he puts that puck way too far, but the puck ended up hitting a stick in the middle of the ice.
Puck smoked right off the draw from the blue line. Denisov let a good shot go that Ouellette had to wrestle away. 5 seconds to go. And Ouellette is going to hang on to it with 4 seconds left.
A chance that Ribeiro had was a real gift because the stick ended up stopping the puck, the stick that was laying in the middle of the ice, and Ribeiro ended up then picking up the loose puck and then working his way into the offensive zone. 4 seconds left, and Canada, coming out of this first period, will learn some things about this Russian team. And primarily is that you can't make those long passes work the way that they're standing up in the middle on you.
Fedorov on the draw, gets it back. Kept in at the line, but in no position for a good shot. And the first period comes to a close. These two familiar rivals, Canada and Russia, battle through 20 minutes. 0-0. First intermission coming up. Here's Gord Miller.
Thank you, Paul. Coming up in our first intermission, Bob McKenzie will stop by. We'll have highlights of the earlier semifinal game. Canadian Classics features Barrett Jackman, and we will have a TSN Sports update. Through 20 minutes of this semifinal game, Canada 0, Russia 0. Our live coverage of the 2000 World Junior Hockey Championship will continue in a moment here on TSN.
The man the authorities came to blame, put in a prison cell, but what?
Denzel Washington, the Hurricane. Chapters.ca. Just you and a few million gift ideas.
These are the rules. Never show fear. Never look back. Never carry your purse to the John.
Tampax Compact. Full-size protection in a compact, extendable applicator.
It's time for all Canadians to make a commitment to better our hockey programs. Esquire and the Canadian Hockey Association are working together to develop minor hockey in Canada. $1 from each Esquire watch sold between October and March will go directly to the sponsorship and growth of minor hockey. Check out tsn.ca/ESQ or your participating Esquire dealer. Tell us about your team of superstars. They could receive Bauer merchandise and be the next Team Esquire stars to say,
Hey, look, there's George saying hello to his favorite server.
Hello.
The usual?
Yes, please.
You just ordered? Oh, let me guess. Poppy seed bagel, toasted, and medium coffee, double-double. You're sitting down. First table, second seat.
Hello, fellas.
All our bagels are baked fresh daily. Enjoy your favorite with a medium coffee for just $1.59.
So, Doug, how's your cinnamon raisin bagel?
Good.
And Jason, your coffee? I mean, black coffee. 2 sugars.
Treatment options now available. Talk to your doctor today or call 1-888-437-5432.
Check out The Next Ones, Monday on TSN.
Back in Skellefteå, Sweden, where through one period of play in the second semifinal game, Canada and Russia are tied at 0. This is the second of 2 semifinals played today. The other was played earlier today here in Skellefteå between the Czech Republic and the United States. The news for the U.S. is that Coach Jeff Jackson had to return home to attend to some serious family business. So as a result, he was not behind the bench for the semifinal game today. Assistant coach Jim Tortorella running things, and things went poorly for the U.S. early on in this game. Michael Civic intercepts Andy Hilbert's pass and sends his Prince Albert Raider teammate Milan Kraft on the breakaway. He scores as the puck bounces in, finally make it 1-0. Then later in the period, Zdeněk Irgil will get the rebound on his wraparound attempt. That makes it 2-0. The Americans put on some pressure, actually hit the goalpost moments after that, but then Kraft puts it away as he walks in across the line and snaps kind of a soft one past the American goaltender Rick DiPietro. And the Czechs go on to beat the United States by a final score of 4-1. The Czech Republic, which has never won the gold medal in this tournament, either as the Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic, will play in the gold medal game tomorrow against the winner of this game. With me now is our man between the benches, Bob McKenzie. Bob, let's talk a little bit about the first period here. First of all, I thought Canada played its best when it played physically. Manny Malhotra unloads on a Russian in front of the Canadian goal, and that really set the tone.
Well, Claude Julien coming off after the first period really liked the first period in terms of the physical play of the Canadian team, and he sees that as a good sign that they've got the intensity that they need. Although Gary Green mentioned sometimes you make hits and you take yourself out of the play. I remember the 1986 World Junior Championship. Shane Corson delivered a big hit. The Russians promptly went down and scored a goal on their way to a win. But, hey, what other way is the Canadian team going to play? That's Canadian hockey, and they want to establish a physical element to their game, and they've done that, and the score is 0-0. They'll take that as a good first period.
Bob, we showed highlights a moment ago of the Czech-U.S. game. Obviously, the situation for Jeff Jackson is far more important at home with the family illness he has to attend to, but a bitter loss today.
Yeah, a really difficult situation for Team USA. Jeff Jackson is such a big part of their program. 15 of the 17 players, 15 of the 22 players on that team came up through the U.S. national junior team program that Jackson's had in place for the last few years in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He had to go back to his Detroit area home to attend to an urgent family medical emergency, and it really showed that the Americans didn't have the usual jump that they had, and it was difficult for Jim Tortorella and Jim Johnson, the coaches for Team USA, to come in and try to make the adjustments necessary against a very good Czech team. So Team USA will play for the bronze, but obviously a disappointment for them to lose their head coach on the eve of the most important game of the tournament for them.
Other tournament news, you and I were at a relegation game last night between Slovakia and Ukraine, and do you believe in miracles? Ukraine wins the first game of the best-of-2 relegation series 3-1, so if the Ukrainians could somehow win the second, Slovakia would go down next year.
Well, we reported earlier in the tournament that the Slovaks were a divided team, the major junior players versus those who stayed back in Slovakia. We can now happily report that they're united. They all hate their coach, and that's really been a problem for them. The head coach and the players not getting along well. It will surprise nobody if in the final relegation game Ukraine beats Slovakia. That's how dispirited and disjointed Team Slovakia is right about now.
By the way, should Slovakia win the second game, they would then play overtime to determine who goes down, and if they still don't decide in overtime, a shootout could decide who goes down to the B group next year. We'll be back with more of our live coverage of the 2000 World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN right after this.
It's a Canadian game.
It's time for all Canadians to make a commitment to better our hockey programs. Esquire and the Canadian Hockey Association are working together to develop minor hockey in Canada. $1 from each Esquire watch sold between October and March will go directly to the sponsorship and growth of minor hockey. Check out tsn.ca/ESQ or your participating Esquire dealer. Tell us about your team of superstars. They could receive Bauer merchandise and be the next Team Esquire stars to say,
when the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, I recommend Right-Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Antiperspirant protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear with no flaky white stuff.
How far's the female?
A good 70 yards, mate. I've made longer passes than that before. Right-Guard Clear Gel and Clear Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Problem? I only got half a bowlful. No, that's a full bowlful. You telling me this half a bowlful is a full bowlful? Mm-hmm. Oh, what's this full bowlful full of?
It's Alpen, the Swiss-style cereal with whole grains, raisin, brown sugar, hazelnuts, and...
Okay.
That's all you need.
So, you're saying if I had a full bowlful, it would be half a bowlful too full, a bowlful?
Now you got it.
Yeah.
You don't got it.
Swiss-style Alpen. Enjoy a full half a bowlful.
My hockey hero would probably be Ray Bourque, Al MacInnis. I've always grown up watching them play hockey. And, you know, they're good within the community and good with their teammates, so, you know, I look up to them a lot. You know, I got a chance at the under-18 to put on the jersey for the first time. You know, I just had the greatest thrill over in the Slovak. And, you know, it's something you dream about ever since you start playing hockey. And I sit at home every year watching the tournament over Christmas, and, you know, just dream about playing it one day. And, you know, now that I'm here, it'd be great. I think the biggest role model would be my mom. She's always been there for me, making sacrifices so I could play the game of hockey. And, you know, she always, you know, pushed me to be my best, but doesn't push me too much that, you know, I don't want to do anything. So she's, you know, a big part of my life and my biggest role model.
Introducing Vector, a new source of energy. It's not a cereal, it's a meal replacement. And like others, it's engineered to give your body 16 micronutrients it needs and taste great. Vector from Kellogg. Fuel up.
So, Wayne, you're retired. What's next for the Great One?
I'm thinking about wrestling.
Wrestling? Wrestling? Well, who'd have thunk it?
Hey, Great One.
Uh-oh. Now there's a bicep. Has Wayne seen that?
Come here.
Here comes trouble.
Hi, Wayne. Hey, Bert. How do you like your retirement?
Do you want points? Want to win great prizes? Got an SO Extra card? So use it. Now you can win and earn at SO. Swipe the card, win and earn.
McDonald's has these retro hockey cards out right now. They include rookie cards of hockey greats like Paul Kariya, Jaromir Jagr. I'm very touched they recognize me in this way. I know my teammates are very proud of me too. I know that. I can feel it.
Retro hockey cards featuring rookie cards of the greatest players in the game, including this year's newest stars. 69 cents with any Fry purchase, plus a chance to win autographed NHL merchandise.
Afternoon, everybody. Get you back to Sweden for the hockey game in just a minute. Reactions now coming in from the resignation of Bill Parcells as the head coach of the New York Jets.
I've had him for 3 years, and he's helped my career tremendously. I've been to 2 Pro Bowls. I don't know if there's any other receiver that he's had that's been to 2 Pro Bowls, and you know, he obviously helped me become a better player. Not only that, a better person. So, you know, he'll still be around the building. He just won't be as active on the football field.
Defensive coordinator Bill Belichick takes over as head coach and the director of football operations. NFL coaches getting their walking papers today. Green Bay's Ray Rhodes, after just 1 season. The Packers missed the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. And New England's Pete Carroll, whose team lost 6 of their last 8 games of the season. NHL this afternoon, Devils leading the Senators by a count of 3-0 in the first period of play. On New Jersey unbeaten in 4. Ottawa on their last 5. If New Jersey wins today and Toronto loses to Buffalo, Robbie Ftorek will coach the All-Star team. Back to Sweden.
This is our art. We sculpt in metal, paint in G-forces,
You won't find our work in museums, for we are artists of the streets. Our art places form in harmony with function, moves body and soul. Cars are our passion. Engineering is our art. Acura.
Hi, I'm Wayne Gretzky. During the week of January 15th to January 22nd, 600,000 Canadian members will receive a package. And this package from the CHA will be a CHA logo patch that you can sew on either your jersey or your hockey pants. So be sure to check your mailbox in January for your package. Remember, wear your logo with pride. Be part of the great Canadian team, the CHA.
Welcome back. Canada coming out onto the ice. The Russians ready and waiting. Here is to start this second period. Shots on goal in the first period favoring Russia by a wide margin, but the scoring chances even at 3 apiece.
Well, great intensity in that first period. Actually, the intensity between these two teams, it actually started in the snack room back at the hotel at 4 o'clock this afternoon. These two teams had to share the same room to have their afternoon snack, and apparently the Canadians didn't like that too much, but they sat there at the table and just stared the Russians down. And they got off to a quick start, taking the body. These two teams are very intense when they play each other.
Taking the body, one part of the game at which we excel. We will need to excel in another part, and that is scoring, to have success in this game. As I mentioned, scoring chances even at 3 apiece. Get to the shots on goal in a moment. Teams start this period at even strength. Puck cleared up along the boards. Bouncing it out. Malhotra after it. Doroshenko tried to roll it across. Got upended there at the blue line. Back the other way. Nielsen trying to come up after it. Tapped out. Doroshenko back the other way for the Russians. Curls in over that blue line. Has Smirnov with him. Up to Schmidtke. And he was tied up. Nielsen coming back. Turning across center for Canada, and he clears it in. And Canada will change him up.
35-40 seconds max.
There's that long pass. It came up ahead and was drilled wide by Helevnikov.
That's what Claude Julien wants his shifts to be for this team. No longer than 40 seconds.
And Biron lost his footing and slid in and dislodged the net. And thus we get the whistle. Give us a chance to squeeze in our first period scoring summary. Brought to you by Gatorade. Is it in you? There was no scoring, but look at the shots on goal.
Right there, shots on net, folks. And Canada have got to find a way to start testing Volkov. That happened last year as well in the gold medal game. Canada got badly outshot in the game. Yet intensity-wise, hitting, scoring opportunities, they did pretty well. But for Claude Julien's team, he knows right now in this second period that they've got to somehow find a way to get that puck to the middle more to test Volkov. If not, through the middle, from the points or from the side, and then looking for the opportunity. So second chance.
Just to refresh your memory, Canada was outshot in the game last year, 40-18. Roberto Luongo was exceptional. Moving up, Booth tried to fire one through. Helevnikov gets it into the corner. Helevnikov over to pick it up. He's number 9. Back to Belandon at the blue line. That was blocked and knocked out by Lundmark. This is Lundmark for Canada. Takes the return feed. Reed trying to get up after it. Taps it by his man. Reed is in. Dumped it across right in front of the net. That was Heatley going to the front of the goal. Just failed to convert that time.
That's exactly what Canada have got to do more. Put that puck to the net and look for the opportunity for deflections.
Puck knocked down there. Trying to sidestep the hit was Bell, and he lost his footing. Just over 2 minutes into this second period. Semi-final game. Canada and Russia, it is 0-0. Fedorov over to Belandon. Gets it up ahead. A little pick run there. Bell was knocked down. And no call. Bouwmeester starting back for Canada. Out across center, Bouwmeester fires it in. Bell will try to get up there on top of it. Richards up there as well. McCarthy at the blue line, kept it in, but only momentarily. Room in that Russian zone, especially in the slot, a scarce commodity for Canada. Jackman had his pocket pick. Fedorov tips it off in front. One chance there for Zinoviev, and then it was knocked away. McCarthy gets it up ahead. Quick pass up ahead to Ryder. Lost it in his skates, but he was across center and able to dump it in. Watch if the Russians go for the long pass again.
They won't this time because Canada's got 4 men back and taking away the middle.
Muratov just cleared it in. Rossiter gets it to Jackman. Up for Pettinger. Duma checks him. Muratov looking for the loose puck. It's bounced out. Ribeiro in over the blue line. Pettinger was up there as well. The Russians will break back. Zinoviev in over the blue line. Muratov is with him. Muratov comes around to claim the puck. Jackman trying to keep a handle on him. Zinoviev is up there. Muratov still being kept to the outside. Here's Jackman, rings it up around the boards. Sent up around the dasher board. It finally comes down. Muratov with it. Gets it across right in front of the net. And Duma just failed to connect there.
Canada's still a little hesitant in moving that puck. When they get it in their own end, they've got to move that puck quickly. The Russians will take advantage eventually.
Duma tipped it in, and he was flattened by Bauk. Tyler Bauk starting back. This fires it up through the neutral zone. Nielsen trying to catch up to it. Bumps with Smirnov. Schwidtke clears it back, and he was decked by Malhotra. Canada making him pay. Bauk shooting. That's stopped by Volkov. Up along the boards, Malhotra pedals it down. Bauk is up there looking for it. Here's Biron the line, battling away, but he couldn't get his stick free. Smirnov in over the blue line. Tap back out. Here comes Malhotra. Nielsen up there to get into the play. Takes the feed, shooting, just missed the corner. Up around the boards, here's Heatley trying to go to work for Canada. Schwidtke tying him up. They jam at it. Puck bounced out to Malhotra. Waiting. Dropped it back in the slot, and that play disintegrates. Schwidtke in over the blue line. Offside called on Russia. Canada's starting to show a little bit of jump offensively, and that can only be good news if they can keep it up.
If you looked into the minds of the Taurus 2000 engineers, you'd see what they were thinking. Power adjustable pedals, a personal safety system with sensors that think about how to activate seatbelts and airbags. They were also thinking that a Taurus this safe should be an exhilarating ride. The Ford Taurus 2000. Good thinking.
Between the boards brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
Canada have been strong on faceoffs throughout this tournament. Russia has got 2 good center icemen that can win draws as well. Battles won by Canada, 5-3. Those are important stats. At the same time, Canada have got to do more of what they've been doing early in this second period. Going to the net, getting some opportunities.
Lundmark trying to come up after it. The linesman got in the way. There's Reed giving a bump. Comes back. Jackman pinched up and gets caught. Coming back the other way. Kaletnikov moves in on goal. Oh, what a goal! What a goal! Valery Kaletnikov with the prettiest goal I've seen in this tournament.
He's only 5'8", 172 pounds, but like many of these players for Russia, they've got great mobility. Jackman ended up trying to stand up and take the body. Well, that's what you should do. Unfortunately, against this team, it's not so easy. I should say Rossiter. That was Rossiter that ended up missing the man. Jackman ended up standing up, though, at the blue line, trying to pinch, keep the puck in.
Jackman got caught, and the speedy Kolebnikov turned it on. And it is 1-0 for Russia. See how Canada bounces back. Richards up after it, couldn't keep it in. Denisov in over the line, fires it in. Ouellette blockering that one away. Fired on goal from a sharp angle. Afanasyenkov got that shot away, and Ouellette able to turn it aside. And a penalty coming up. It is going to be an elbowing call. And it will go against Canada. Bell heading to the penalty box.
Canada have got to be careful here. After getting down by this goal, they can't sit in the penalty box and allow the Russians to continue with the momentum. There you can see over in the far corner, Bell with his elbow up way too high. He got nabbed for that, and now the Russians, with the face-off deep in Canada's end, will have an opportunity to continue that momentum.
Kolebnikov getting that Russian goal from Anton Boot. Only one assist. It came at 5:41. Oh, Bauk almost got away there. Malhotra skating back after it. Here comes Jackman, and just fires it along the boards. Bauk and Malhotra the forwards, Jackman and Rossiter the defensemen. And Canada then change up the forwards. Meanwhile, Muratov coming back in, works it over. Zinoviev back to the blue line. Lubomov with a wrist shot. Duma going after it. Ryazantsev at the blue line, trying to keep it in, number 22. And it finally comes out. Here's Muratov. 1:05 to go in the power play for Russia. Russia leading 1-0. Puck tapped up ahead. Zinoviev. Come on, Noah. Down to Duma. Duma knocked down by Rossiter. Zinoviev hopping up there to pick it up. Waiting. Ryazantsev. Down to Muratov. Muratov drops it down. Zinoviev is parked there in front, number 13. Wasn't able to get loose. Here's Muratov with it. 30 seconds left in the power play. Ryazantsev works it across. Pounded on goal by Lubomov, and that was knocked away by Ouellette. Good concentration there from the Canadian goaltender. Muratov works it back. Ryazantsev faked the shot. Lubomov drills one. That stop. Rebound. Hops to the corner. Jackman having to contend there with Zinoviev. And Canada controlling. Nielsen gets it along the boards and deep into Russian territory. Only 2 seconds left in the Canadian penalty. Bell steps on, and Canada weathers that storm. Back in over the line. Smirnov had his pocket picked. No icing. Shadilov back to pick it up. Smirnov gets it edge, swinging wide. Schmidtke in front. Smirnov point blank. That was wrestled away by Ouellette. And Ouellette has lost his stick. Biron wary of that, holding on to the puck, and the Russians back off. And Ouellette able to pick up his goal stick as play continues. This is Pettinger carrying down. Works it straight across in front. That was deflected wide. Chouinard bouncing up there into the action. Merriams chipping it off the boards and out. Boot along the boards, gets it in. Kolebnikov back of the net for Boot. Kolebnikov right in front. Comes back. Merriams shoots. That was partially blocked. McCarthy got in front of it, and Ribeiro back quickly for Canada. In over the line. Ribeiro shoots. Volkov stopped that. Back in the net. Here's Richards. Richards trying to set something up. Centered it in front. McCarthy came charging in, and play whistled down. It's an interference call coming up. We'll sort it out for you when we come back. It's time for all Canadians to make a commitment to better our hockey programs. Esquire and the Canadian Hockey Association are working together to develop minor hockey in Canada. $1 from each Esquire watch sold between October and March will go directly to the sponsorship and growth of minor hockey. Check out tsn.ca/ESQ or your participating Esquire dealer. Tell us about your team of superstars. They could receive Bauer merchandise and be the next Team Esquire stars to say, second period summary. Second period brought to you by Ford. Focus 2000. Expect more.
Landon in the penalty box for interference. This will give Canada a chance. They went for the net. There was an awful lot of confusion down in front of Volkov. They need more of that confusion in front of Volkov.
So Canada on the power play. Richards back at the blue line. He's back there with McCarthy. Spezza is there in front of the net trying to create some traffic. Reed has the puck down low. Works it back. Lundmark. Puck fired by Richards, just tipped wide. Here's Lundmark with it. Back out for Richards. Moves it quickly across to the open corner. Reed trying to get to it. Spezza lunging. Canada keeping it in. Lundmark dumps it in deep. Spezza coming in after it. He dumped his man. He's got the puck now. Spezza waiting. Tried to get a low shot away. That was blocked. Rolling around. Spezza kicks it to Reed. Had Richards in the slot momentarily. Lundmark fires one. That was wide. Richards over there to control it. Able to keep it in. Dumps it into the slot. Puck was rolling there. McCarthy. That was Lundmark who had the swing and the miss. Spezza trying to get it out in front. Chopped away from him. Terchenko gets it out. Lead pass ahead. Smirnov right down Main Street. And he scores. Oleg Smirnov with a shorthanded goal. And it is 2-0 Russia.
You know, Paul, I was watching Smirnov out there before this goal happened. He, previous to this opportunity, was looking for that long pass. He was looking for the chance to get out of the zone and get that puck to him. All of a sudden, when he got it, watch, he just took right off. He knew the opportunity would present itself. What a great deke he put on Ouellette right here. But Smirnov was looking for that opportunity long before. He knew what he wanted to do, and he signaled to his teammates that he was heading for it. They knew to look for him.
Oleg Smirnov plays for Spartak and is a draft pick of the Edmonton Oilers. 40 seconds still to go in Canada's power play. Ribeiro shoots it in. Chouinard moving up after it. Denisov in the corner. Back to Biron. Works it over. Here's Kinch moving up. That was blocked and the puck fired down the ice by Safonov. Here comes Kinch again. 15 seconds left in the power play for Canada. Matt Kinch over to Ribeiro. That rolls ahead of him. Ribeiro along the board. Back for Kinch. Fires it in. Tipped just wide by Bell. Here's Biron. Up for Bell. He was knocked down by Safonov. Penalized player back on. Biron with a wrist shot. Bell. Back for Chouinard. Chouinard shoots. That hit a leg.
Canada having a tough time getting that puck through to Volkov.
Well, Volkov was the goaltender last year, and he only had to face 18 shots. Canada never really tested him, and they haven't really tested him much in this game either.
I am the Rocky Mountains. 100 million years I have stood here. This I know. Lead with the left, follow with the right. Buy low, sell high. Look for windows of opportunity. Take the road less traveled. Keep your stick on the ice. The grass really is greener on the other side. And always maintain an open door policy.
Here's the goal scorer, Oleg Smirnov. Alexei Terchenko picking up the assist.
Just a good chip along the boards, and Smirnov then just took right off. Watch how he spreads those legs and then goes to his forehand. Ouellette was spread from one post to the other to try to take that low opportunity away, but Smirnov was able to find the room underneath of him.
Puck cleared up. Ryder couldn't knock it down, and it was gloved ahead by the Russian player. So
be easy for Canada to get down here because they have seen the skill level, the quickness of this Russian team. They've been intense enough. That's what Claude Julien hoped that they would be, but at the same time, they're getting caught on one-on-one situations. They're winning the battles along the boards. That's what was expected of them, but at the same time, when it comes to that sheer ability to be able to maneuver that puck into the open, to be able to jump into the open, right now, Russia is winning that important battle. Canada's got to settle down a little bit here, Paul. We're not worrying about taking the body as much as worrying about positionally being right in the right position, moving the puck quickly, picking up the pace of their game a little bit. They're putting an awful lot of energy into trying to take the body.
Bouwmeester rushing in and chipped one in on goal. That was eye high, grabbed and held there by Volkov. Let's bring in Bob McKenzie. What's up, Bob?
Well, Paul, the Canadian coaches are working hard here trying to keep the players on an even keel. In fact, trying to pick them up after those 2 goals. Russia with the 2-goal lead in that shorthanded goal. And Canada's really got to improve its play at each blue line. On that power play, they got caught pinching in again, setting up the breakaway. And on the first goal, there was a pinch at the blue line that led to another pinch at the other blue line. And that's the speed of the game at both blue lines is really handcuffing Canada right now.
Well, and Canada likes to play that way. That's the Canadian brand of hockey, you know, where you've got defensemen pinching, unlike what Bob McKenzie was talking about prior to the game, whereby, from the Russian standpoint, you pinch, get caught, you sit. And maybe Claude Julien right now is realizing that his team can't be so quick to pinch.
Biron fires one. That was blocked by Smirnov, and it gets caught up in his equipment, so play is whistled down.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, proud supporters of the CHA.
Big round of applause there from the fans after Oleg Smirnov managed to dislodge the puck from his equipment. Biron off the line, just tried to chip it in. Here's Malhotra. Malhotra carries in, dumps it across in front. This line here, Malhotra and Belk in particular, they've been one of the few combinations, maybe the only one on Canada that's been able to consistently get the puck towards the net at least.
Well, they're good aggressive forecheckers. You could see that on that last draw that Manny Malhotra didn't take the faceoff. Nielsen came in instead, and remember back to the first period of play when Malhotra blocked that shot with his hands, and he may be hurting because of it. He's been Canada's premier faceoff man. He blocked that shot with his right hand, took it right off of his glove, and he was hurting as he went to the bench. His left wrist or his right? I guess it was his left because he was turned around. Sorry, folks. It was his left wrist, and he was shaking it when he went back to the bench, and as a result, he hasn't been taking the faceoffs.
Off the draw, Jackman rushes in deep. Looking in front, Jackman still with it, just kept to the outside. Rossiter tried to get it up on goal, knocked away. Lundmark looking for a receiver, gets it down low for Reed. Back of the net, Heatley jumping up into the fray. Heatley battling there with Lappin. Here's Jackman, shoots. And Volkov will stop those all night. A long shot from the blue line, and he covers it up.
Yeah, Volkov could see it clearly, and there was no traffic in front, and he didn't give up a rebound. Again, Volkov hasn't been tested. Wasn't tested much last year, hasn't been tested much in this tournament. And a number of the NHL scouts have been talking about that this week, about how good the Russian team are, how good defensively they are, and then the question mark becomes about their goaltending, and nobody really knows how good they are because you have a difficult time when you play this defensive-minded Russian team at getting the puck to Volkov, let alone getting a second opportunity.
It's tough to judge them, though. I mean, really, they're a great team. Absolutely no doubt about that. There's Bobby Smith, one of the many NHL people in attendance this week, scouts and GMs. But they scored 34 goals heading into this game. They got 14 of them against Kazakhstan, 7 against Switzerland, another 4 against Ukraine. I mean, not exactly the powerhouses of hockey.
No, and remember, it was a 1-1 hockey game on December the 23rd when these two teams met prior to the start of the tournament in exhibition play. But this team is quick. There's no question about that. When they played the Swedes, and we were able to see a couple of periods of it anyway, at least I was, on television, you could tell how they could handle the puck, how they could jump into the holes. And so often in today's game so far, Canada with a great intensity, and we talked about the defensemen standing up, it's not as if Canada's been caught on a lot of odd man rushes. Where they've been caught, especially in the neutral zone, has been the fact that they get beat one-on-one, even when they've got support back when they do pinch. These Russians are so good, so agile.
Here's McCarthy.
And Smirnoff's one-on-one against Rossiter was a pretty good example. In those situations, you almost have to respect the Russians and start backing up and giving your players more time to come back and give you a hand.
Schvidke couldn't get it out. Chouinard to Ribeiro, shoots. That was blocked. Savronov with a big play there to drop down in front of Ribeiro's quick shot. Be sure to join us at the conclusion of this game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Rayovac.
Our battery lasts 80% longer.
We're 81% longer.
Instead of trash talk, how about some straight talk? Try Rayovac. If you don't think they're just as good, you get your money back. You can't lose. I like that.
You saw Safronov, and you also saw Bobby Smith. Bobby Smith hoping that Safronov will one day be in a Coyotes uniform. He is their draft selection.
Ribeiro comes up with that puck, circling around. Ribeiro gets it down. Hedinger trying to work it loose. Chouinard tried to center it. That was broken up. Russians back up quickly. Zinoviev in over the blue line. Here's Biron. Saucers it up to Chouinard and missed him. Lubomov clearing it back in. This is Matt Kinch back to claim for Canada. 5 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the second period. Canada trailing 2-0. Chouinard up to Ribeiro, and the puck just came outside the line. Canada getting called in the offside. You're watching the World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN.
Chapters.ca. Just you and a few million gift ideas.
Check out The Next Ones, Monday on TSN. For 6 seasons, we've brought you the biggest names in the game. Join Brett Lindros for the show that brings you closer to the players. Be a Player 2000. See it. Live it. TSN.
Welcome back. Russia with a 2-0 lead over Canada. Canada going with 6 defensemen in this game. Joey Roulier not having played a shift in this game. Jay Bomeister, the 16-year-old, has stepped in and played a regular shift. Jason Spencer, the 16-year-old up front, continues to get only power play time and doesn't play at even strength. Canada is rolling 4 lines otherwise.
Off the face-off, Russia controlling. Shedilov gets it up along the boards and clear right back in. The Russians never had a 2-0 lead in the game last year, which they won in overtime 3-2. The teams trading goals, Canada eventually tying it at 2. With about 7 minutes to go in the third period.
Just peeling back into that 1-2-2 right now, not giving Canada much room. We thought they were patient before and watched them when they got this 2-0 lead.
Schvidke upended there, but he's right back up and on the puck. Malhotra trying to contain him there back of the goal. Got it loose to Rossiter, and he'll start it back. Nilsson up the middle, but he goes across for Jackman. Over center, got it in over the blue line. Malhotra charging up, knocked down. Here's Tyler Bouck moving up, fired one just wide. McCarthy pouncing on it. Throws it up around. Malhotra trying to get it out in front. Bouck lost it in his skates, and it's cleared up around the boards and down the ice. An icing call on Russia, and again, that combination of Malhotra, Bouck, and Nielsen getting as much happening offensively as Canada has received from any line.
But it's real tough against this defensive-minded Russian team. The Russians are just lining them up at the blue line now. They're playing that 1-2-2. They're trapping in the neutral zone. They've got their two defense sitting way back behind the blue line. Claude Julien knows very well that you can't dump and chase because you're just going to hand it to this Russian team when they line up that way. So you try to carry it in. It's tough because they've got at least two men standing at the blue line ready to take the puck off of you.
Lappin back of the goal. Reed trying to turn it over. Veltnikov trying to get it out, but knocked down. Heatley along the boards. Heatley whacks it up around back of the goal. Lundmark moving up after it. And another icing call on Russia. We've played 16:34 of this second period, and the game settling into a pattern at least the last few minutes of the Russians getting the puck in their own end and icing it.
Oh, yeah, and Peter Vorobyev's team won't be too concerned about trying to be entertaining here as well. They had no qualms the least bit last year in Winnipeg in the gold medal game of throwing that puck down the ice. Mind you, he wasn't coaching, but the system was intact. He put it intact. They'll throw the puck down, take the icing call, because they're pretty confident, too, on their faceoff.
Alebnikov back of his own net. Three minutes and 15 seconds to go in this second period. Lappin trying to move it up. Alebnikov after it. Here's Reed. He sneaks away. Reed coming in. Heatley's with him. Reed to Heatley. He scores! Danny Heatley, set up by Brandon Reed, and Canada's on the board.
Oh, what a big goal that was late in this second period. Canada, who had been trying to get through the neutral zone, but not with an awful lot of success, turned the puck over right there. Just because of hard-fought battles. Chipped it by, and then there they go on a 2-on-1. Watch for Heatley. Finds the open ice. Look how he's on his forehand side. He positioned himself perfectly. Heatley, when he broke out of the zone, and there's the good work all along the boards in Canada's end at chipping the puck out. And it was Brandon Reed who chipped it out, then had his head up, and he saw that Heatley had his stick down on the ice and was looking for that opportunity. On his forehand, Heatley wasted no time.
And off the draw, right back in and firing it high and wide was Mark Bell. Ryder shovels it in for Canada. And Volkov will hang on to it. Heatley gets the goal, his first of the tournament. Reed picks up an assist. And Reed continues to put the points up for Canada. He now has 3 goals and 4 assists.
Got some confidence now for Canada with that big goal, that first goal for Canada. And still with more than 2.5 minutes remaining in this second period, what Canada needs now is a real good finish in this second. They've got to play it smart, but they've got to now really go and test Volkov. Every opportunity they get, put that puck on the net. The defense will have to be careful back at the blue line, though.
Off the draw, Ryder trying to let it go. He was knocked down. Athanasenkov was turned back there at the blue line. Ryder taps it in. Schvidtke. Bell picks it up. Got a bit of a break there. Might have been a tripping penalty. Bell works it over for Biron. He shoots at a bead on the short side, but Volkov got it.
Watch for the Russians sending that long pass out again. They'll try to take a little of the pressure off of their own end by sending a man early.
Tried to do it right there, coming along the left wing. Puck up ahead to Richards. 2 minutes to go in this second period. Canada trailing 2-1. Isanov is checked. Here's Ribeiro moving in. Just lost the puck. Very scrambly there in the top of the slot. Jackman clears it in. Pettinger wheeling up there. Chouinard stepping up. He couldn't come up with the puck. And there's that long pass. Afanasyanov was moving out through the neutral zone, trying to stretch the defense back.
Russians are so confident with their skill that when they're under pressure, they feel the momentum is swung to Canada. They'll just start pulling out of the zone, looking to use the boards and looking to break a forward out quickly.
But if Canada's expecting that, and it seems to be a strategy of the Russians, what can they do to counter it, to take advantage of it?
Well, you can start sending men back, but that then defeats the purpose of you getting the momentum by forechecking. And that's one of the issues that I don't like about the red line. It allows you, with the fact that there is no red line in international play, it allows you to do exactly what the Russians have been doing.
Here's Pettinger, chips it off the glass for Ribeiro. He was handled there by Duma. Now Ribeiro back after it, tried to work it out, and Pettinger was not quite confident enough to commit there. Didn't want to get caught. Rossiter clears it in. Chouinard rolling up to the corner, trying to get it out for Ribeiro. A minute 10 to go in this second period. There's Ribeiro working hard there back in the net, but couldn't get it in front. Pettinger along the wall. Less than a minute to go. Pettinger looking. Heavy going along the boards. Here's Ribeiro. Ribeiro trying to get it in front. Fighting with Ryazantsev.
Great cycling by Canada. They were able to contain, but the problem is, and was, they couldn't get that puck out to the middle. But they controlled it in the corners.
In over the line, Zinoviev tried to drop it off. Chopped in by Muratov. Zinoviev coming around. Works it back out to the line. Merriams plays it up. Zinoviev rolled it across in front of the net, and Muratov almost tipped it. Canada coming back. Long pass up ahead. Bauk sprinting up there after it. Bauk battling up there. In to help out is Nielsen. Works it out. Malhotra couldn't get the shot on the target. Cleared up. Delayed offside on Canada. They have to peel back. 5 seconds to go in the period. Pass up ahead. Schvidke in over the line, and that will do it. For period number 2, Canada trailing by a score of 2-1. Remind you of a year ago at all? Here's Gord Miller.
Boy, does it ever, Paul. Coming up in our second intermission, we'll talk to Bob McKenzie about what's been going on in this game so far. Matt Pettinger is featured in Canadian Classics, and we'll have a TSN Sports Update. Canada battling back, trailing 2-1 through 2 periods in the semifinal of the 2000 World Junior Hockey Championship.
Well, pressure weighing heavily on Ouellet's shoulders. Like last year when Roberto Luongo was spectacular in goal for Canada, bringing the fans into their seats time after time with great saves in Winnipeg. Ouellet will have to do the same in this third period. Second period summary brought to you by Cheerios. It all starts here. And Canada, as they were last year, in the final game against Russia after 2 periods, trailing 2-1.
Well, Canada has had lots of enthusiasm. These players have really come out and played hard for the first 2 periods. What they have to do now is continue to play just as hard, if not harder, play smart. And as Bob McKenzie was referring to, watch out for their defensemen at both blue lines.
Malhotra, Bauk, and Nielsen out there. This has been Canada's best offensive line in the game. Generated the highest number of chances, and Nielsen dumps it in. Merriam sends it up around the board, kept in. Jackman shoots. That one got away from him, went high and wide. Nielsen back for Canada. Here's Bauk. bumped along the boards after he got rid of the puck. Yaroshenko got a hold of him.
The Russians will expect Canada to come out flying. They have, and they'll keep 2 men up pretty high, looking to take a little of that pressure off by getting that puck up high in the neutral zone.
Yaroshenko knocking it down, but the puck was knocked down with a high stick. So the referee whistling the play dead. Between the boards, brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
Well, you see the battle won again in favor of Canada. Face-offs in favor of Canada. Where Canada really came along in that second period, and the reason Claude Julien felt that their team's got a chance here in this third with scoring opportunities. At 11:54 mark in the second period, it was 5-2 for Russia with chances, but then it became 5-4 by the end of the second period for Russia. So Canada started to get some opportunities, and they capitalized on one of them.
Off the draw, puck comes back. Biron trying to fire it up. Heatley battling away for it, but knocked away. Boot coming back. In over the blue line. Lappin is with him. Boot down to the corner. Lappin, number 24, popping up there after it. Reed coming out. Went off of Heatley's skate. Alevnikov along the boards, but a delayed offside on the Russians.
On one-on-one situations, for defensemen especially, when they're backing up, Kyle Rossiter, he got beat on the one-on-one situation. Jackman, who stood up, got beat on the one-on-one situation. When you're playing this Russian team, you got to know your opposition. And your opposition in this game is extremely quick and skillful with the puck. They're very agile. Claude Julien, he knows this team. He knows his own team. And as a result, he wants his defensemen to be a little bit more cautious. Almost start to back up a little bit more and wait for the reinforcement. On one-on-ones, you almost have to treat it, if you're a Canadian defenseman, like it's a one-and-a-half-on-one.
Bouwmeester fired his shot. It comes out. Great chance for Richards, and it was kicked away. Volkov firing out the leg. Not sure if it made it on goal, though. Great rush by Bouwmeester, but back the other way. Murtaugh trying to step in. Lubimov. Knocked down by Richards. Has Ryder with him. He shovels it in. Ryder skipping up there after it. Safronov trying to get it out. Knocked down. Ribeiro trying to play it in. Richards tried to quick pass it there in front of the net. Duma knocked it down. Murtaugh gets it outside the line. Jackman dishing it over to Ribeiro. Ribeiro by himself. Canada on a change there, so he wasn't able to get much going. Zinoviev rifling it off the boards and down the ice. No icing call. Jackman back to play it. Missed Pettinger with the feed, and icing waved off the other way. Denisov back to pick it up. Schvidtke. Pass up to Schvidtke. Missed it there at the blue line. Afanasyenkov couldn't control it. Shadilov playing it up. Fired back up. Skipped by Chouinard, but he'll hot-foot it in there after it. Up around the boards by Pettinger and out Schvidtke. Coming in over the blue line. Schvidtke cuts across, rolled it up towards the net. Afanasyenkov was dumped on his way in.
Ribeiro's line really played that 3-on-3 very well. Good defensive coverage.
Afanasyenkov in the corner, works it back out. Shadilov had it knocked down, and Canada's Ribeiro coming back, clears it in. Biron steaming up after it, trying to use that size of his to buy some time in the offensive zone. Fedorov controlling. Here's Nielsen. Nielsen starting back. Dishes it in. Marion up around the boards. Smirnov couldn't get it out. Malhotra gets it there. Nielsen shooting. That was blocked point blank by Marion. Smirnov coming back. Tight ropes along the line. In he comes, trying to get outside on Bout. He was knocked down. Bout stayed right with him.
Smirnov was looking to try to draw a penalty.
Bouwmeester pokes it out. Esipov moves it up. Quick pass. Right on the tape. Afanasyenkov back of the net. Knocked away from him. And Malhotra back out to center. Bout picks it up. Been a long shift for this line. Yaroshenko coming back in. Cuts through the slot. Shooting. A nice little fake and then right through the slot, and that was a good shot right on target that Ouellette was able to fend off.
It's a fact. A Whopper from Burger King.
The third period of this game is brought to you by Subway, the way a sandwich should be. Played 4 minutes and 21 seconds of the third period. Semi-final game, Canada and Russia. It's 2-1, Russia leading. Off the draw. Lundmark trying to get it out, couldn't get it by Boot. On the second effort, carries close to center and dumps it in. Balandin up along the boards. Alevnikov couldn't get it out. Reed up after it. Knocked down there. Here comes Reed looking for a bit of help. Reed looking for Heatley or someone. Tried to throw it across. It's picked off. Boot breaking in on goal. And a great play by Reed coming back.
I think that's a tough one to give a guy a penalty for. I thought Reed did it perfectly by getting that puck out from underneath the Russian player, but the Russian player went down, and Reed's going to go up. Well, once again, the Russians, who are so good at anticipating that puck, ended up giving it up. Not how they intended to. Reed gave it up, and now watch. He went down, slid at the right time. Well, he ended up taking, on that replay, I'll take what I said back. I think Reed did deserve the penalty. I thought he got the puck first, and then the Russian player fell, but that's not the way it happened.
So Russia getting set for the power play. 0 for 3 with the man advantage. 4 shots on goal. Muratov. Muratov still with it. Duma back at the goal. Out for Muratov. Lubomov thought about jumping up after it. Ryder bumps Duma there in the corner. Lubomov winds up. Big shot. Nice stop by Ouellette. Can't get it out, though. Ryazantsev clears it up. Knocked down, and this time, making sure, was Michael Ryder. Muratov. Rossiter knocked it down. 1:15 to go in the power play for the Russians. Ouellette grabs that. Dishes off to Jackman, and then Malhotra. Ryazantsev at the line. Over for Lubomov with a wrist shot, and Malhotra, he's everywhere. He tried to get the puck out, and then Malhotra sliding across to block that scoring chance.
The Esso Medals and Certificates of Achievement program rewards youngsters across Canada with most dedicated, most sportsmanlike, and most improved player medals, and reinforces team commitment with certificates of achievement for each member. Esso, proud supporters of the CHA.
Manny Malhotra ended up giving that puck up, but then he ends up recovering, as he has done many times in this tournament. Malhotra went down, blocked the shot. He's hurting. It's his left thumb that he ended up hurting when he blocked a shot, killing penalties back in the first period. He took that shot, that hard shot, right in the palm of his hand, and it ended up hurting his thumb.
Hey, you know what? This isn't the NHL. It's a long way from it, in fact. But I asked John Muckler publicly, so what exactly is wrong with Manny Malhotra?
Well, I don't think that they can expect him to be a 40-goal scorer, and that, I think, goes without saying. But they knew that when they drafted him. But he sure has got a lot of character and skill.
Fedorov. Denisov works it up. Fedorov. Denisov shoots. And Ouellette got a good look at it. And no rebound. He hangs on with 40 seconds to go in the power play for Russia.
Good thing you saw how fast Denis Svidky came right in. They're not big at screening, Ouellette, but they sure are huge when it comes to looking for those opportunities at the last second. There's nobody in front of the net. Take a look, though, when this shot goes back to the point. All of a sudden, they're moving it around, and when they get their opportunity, then they will connect. And quickly, Svidky came right in there looking for the loose puck. There wasn't one there.
Meanwhile, Canada got it down on the ice there off the faceoff. 25 seconds to go in the Russian power play. Afanasyenkov got it back to the line. Safronov clearing it in. Afanasyenkov works it back. Denisov works it over, trying to one-time it there with Safronov. That was blocked. And Bell gets it down the ice. Penalized player back on. Canada holds the fort. The Russians 0 for 4 on the power play.
Canada have continued to play a good, disciplined box in their own end and anticipated well.
Terashenko in over the line, dished it off. Smirnov clears it in. Played 7 minutes and 15 seconds of this third period. Vorobyev got it in front, and just like that, it is 3-1 Russia. Oh. Sergei Zinoviev moving out from the corner, and that's a killer for Canada.
Well, you can't get beat in the corners, though, and Canada have known that all along, that this team is quick, they're good, they're strong on the puck. Watch what happens right along the boards here, folks. Chouinard lost the battle. He couldn't get the puck out, and as a result, the Russians ended up capitalizing. And once again, those one-on-one moves that have eluded Canada in too many situations today. You try to take the body. If you don't have your man lined up perfectly, look out, because they'll just step aside.
Lappin back in over the blue line. Tried to drop it off. Here's Lundmark. Lundmark starting out. Dump it in. And Volkov hangs on to it. Played 7:48 of this third period. Canada trailing by 2.
For every guy who knows clean is a relative term. For every guy with the ability to follow more than 3 programs at once. For every guy who sees no reason to dirty another glass. And for every guy who'd rather not spend the weekend in a mall, we'd like to introduce you to the Dodge Durango. It has the most cargo space, towing capacity, and power of any SUV in its class. The Dodge Durango, it's good to be a guy.
Well, Canada finds themselves back in a similar situation where that last goal has got them down. They've got to get back up again, pick it up again. Too many assignments were missed, and that's how the Russians scored the goal. And Ouellette didn't play it very well either.
No, looking at the replay, I think Ouellette would like to have another stab at that. Icing call on the Russians.
Well, we'll go back and show you that goal one more time and see where Canada broke down. Puck came along the boards. Chouinard, first of all, got bumped off of it. Bouwmeester went in, and now watch Ribeiro right here, folks. He tried to take his man, ended up missing him, but to score from that angle just shouldn't happen. And Ouellette gave up one of the softer goals he has in this tournament. He's been outstanding coming into this tournament. That Swiss game may not have helped him out all that much. Well, Bout got put down, but he got put down by the linesman.
Well, he took an extra jab at that puck, and that fired things up.
Now Canada are going to have to win some of those battles now, get them back. Same way that the Russians just scored, by winning some battles along the boards, avoiding some checks. Got a little nasty down there.
Yeah, the kick seemed to upset the Russians, justifiably.
You understand why?
Faceoff comes back outside the blue line. Jackman fires it in. Volkov steers that aside. Richards, Bell, Ryder all up there. Here comes Duma. put up there by Jackson. Rossiter starting back, up ahead to Richards. Trying to cut across, and Ryazantsev knocked him off the puck. Rossiter back after it. Here's Bell. Chips it up ahead. Richards moving in. Ryder coming up into the play. Richards shoots. And Volkov stopped that one. Richards with a nice effort cutting through the slot. Got it on net, but Volkov not giving up a rebound.
Strong play, though, by Ryder. He really busted his butt in order to break in right on top of Volkov. And that's the effort that Canada needs. Ryder ended up just looking to break away from his check, ended up doing it, got to the net, got his stick out in front of Volkov, and the Russian defenseman wasn't able to control Ryder. Ryder has been very strong on the puck and going to the net in this tournament.
Ribeiro in the face-off, back for Sweenard. Ribeiro was going for the front of the net, but Fedorov had him tied up. Here's McCarthy pinching up from the blue line. Puck centered in front, but it hit a stick. Bouwmeester after it. Clears it up. Bouwmeester taking a regular turn here in this third period. Afanasyenkov gets it out. McCarthy. Low! Hedinger. Gets it up around. Ribeiro gets it to Sweenard. Puck in front. Storming in there was McCarthy, and he almost converted. Volkov lost his stick, but Canada can't maintain possession. McCarthy battled over there, wasn't able to get to it. Afanasyenkov trying to shake off Bouwmeester. And what a great job the 16-year-old Bouwmeester doing, staying with the 19-year-old Afanasyenkov.
He really played him well on that one-on-one.
That showed a lot of poise for a young 16-year-old playing in probably the biggest game of his career. To stick with a veteran player like that. Biron steps in over the line, fires one, a hot shot grabbed and held by Volkov. Played 9:58 of the third. Canada down by a pair. Bob McKenzie is at ice level. What's your take on things, Bob?
Well, Paul, you called the situation. 10 minutes and 2 seconds left in regulation time. Team Canada down by 2 goals, desperately needing some offense here. It'll be interesting to see whether Claude Julien decides 16-year-old Jason Spezza is up to any even strength shifts. He's very gifted, creative offensive player, but they've used him only in a power play role here. They have some reservations about the speed of the game and his ability to keep up, being only 16 years old, but I'll be interested to see whether Julien goes to his bench to create a little more offense.
Well, it's no secret that the biggest concern, and it's a minor one, with Jason Spezza's tremendously gifted young and developing game is his skating ability. And that's one reason why they've hesitated to play him on a regular even strength shift.
But you know, I've watched him closely. The opportunities he's gotten this tournament, and he's got the size and strength already. He's got the reach, and I think he compensates for that.
No questioning his offense. He is just spectacular. Playing last year as a 15-year-old for Brampton in the OHL. He had 62 points in 58 games as a 15-year-old. And playing this year for the Mississauga Ice Dogs.
Reed, who's taken the draw here for Canada, has actually had the best percentage for Canada in this tournament at winning faceoffs. He's been at 61%. That's a remarkable percentage.
Well, he wins this one to Heatley, who fired it quickly on goal, and Volkov stopped it. Pinch back at the blue line, working it up. And the puck jumps up, and it drops into the penalty box, so we get a whistle.
I say that about Reed simply because in the National Hockey League, when you look at face-off percentages, the top players usually make 57, 58%. So with 61, Reed has been excellent.
They ran the clock for about an extra 6 seconds. And the bench caught it, and so too, luckily, did the officials. Now, the penalty timekeeper is signaling 6 seconds, and I can see the Canadian bench signaling 9 or 10. Referee is Danny Kerman, who's done a good job in this tournament. I think 6 is going to be the number. Bob?
Well, the referee says 6 seconds. Dean Clark, the assistant coach for Team Canada, says 9, but it's going to be 6.
Off the draw. And the clock's still not running. And now they kick it into gear. Here's Kinch. Birol coming up. Lappin was looking. Reed knocked it down. Heatley at the line. To Reed. Look at him beetle around. He gets loose. Reed chips it up there. Heatley was dumped there in front of the net. Pardon me, that was Lundmark. And an interference penalty coming up against the Russians. Andrei Esipov will head to the box as he yanked down Lundmark. And maybe, just maybe, opportunity knocking here for Canada on the power play, although they've given up a shorthanded goal in this game.
Well, I think Lundmark played that pretty well right in front. You could see that he ended up getting tied up by Esipov, and so he took the advantage there and ended up going down. I don't think Lundmark was out-muscled that much that he had to go down, but he had to reinforce the point, and it worked.
So it is Ribeiro out there with Chouinard and Bell. As Jason Spezza, who has seen time on the power play, looks on. Here's Richards shooting. Volkov stopped that. Richards back at the blue line with McCarthy. Back of the net. Ribeiro dishes out. Chouinard fires one. Thought he saw some daylight there in the short side. Ribeiro back to the line, and that was tipped. Leaping up after it, Muratov. And McCarthy has to battle to stay with him. Offside called on the Russians. McCarthy had to be alert there.
Well, the Russians have gone back into that 1-2-2 system of theirs, and it's going to make it very difficult for Canada to be able to penetrate the neutral zone. The Russians, again, are very good and conscious defensively. They'll trap, and they'll trap well. They've got the speed, the quickness, and the anticipation skill to be able to pick off those passes. And then it becomes a one-on-one battle with the puck carrier with Canada. Canada are going to have to find a way to really fight their way through that red wall.
Up they come on the power play. Ribeiro back in the net, trying to get it out in front. Couldn't get it to Chouinard. That was Bell swimming back in the corner.
And they've got to watch Smirnov when he's out there killing penalties.
Here's McCarthy. Leaves it there for Chouinard. 1:10 to go on the power play for Canada. Chouinard up ahead to Richards. Nips in over the line. Drops it there for Ribeiro. Eroshenko checks in. Richards gets it to the slot. Puck pinballing around. Safronov gets it to the wall. Richards right up there after it. Safronov brings it up around the glass. And it hits a player on the Russian bench. So play whistle down. 49 seconds to go on the power play.
But you can see where Safronov was. He was ready to take that puck at the red line and scoot again. They were trying to ring it all the way down the boards. The Russians, when they are even strength now, are playing that, well, not now, but previous to, they were playing that 1-2-2 system. As soon as they were killing penalties, they go to 4 red sweaters in the neutral zone. They weren't being aggressive at trying to force Canada when they were coming out of their own end. But they will be aggressive when it comes to sending that man out early if they sense the least bit of an opportunity to get possession of the puck.
Off the draw, puck back to Birol. Over to Lundmark. There's a shot. And Volkov, a good job to stop that. And the rebound controlled and cleared. Spezza, Lundmark, and Reed out there for Canada. And here comes Birol starting it back. Puck skipping by Spezza. Lundmark up after it. He squeezed out along the boards. Kept going there against Balandin. Now Spezza with it. Back out for Kinch. Kinch up to Spezza. Kinch shoots. Rebound. Bounces out and is cleared. Lappin right there. 10 seconds left in the power play. See if Canada can muster one more good rush and scoring chance here. Rossiter coming up. Down the middle is Spezza, offside called on Canada. The team's back at even strength. Canada still needs 2 to tie this one up.
It's a Canadian game.
If you're a member of the Canadian Hockey Association as a player, coach, or official, be looking for your membership package in the mail January 15th to 22nd. CHA mailing out over 600,000 members, the CHA logo patch, skill tips, and a poster of Wayne Gretzky. Puck knocked down there. Afanasenkov couldn't get in, though. Lumbering in over the line is Bell. Sends it up around the board. Ryder taking a slash at it. Here's Richards. Out for Bell. Right there at the side, jams at it. And that puck popped loose, but after the whistle had gone.
It was a quick whistle. Canada are doing their job at working the corners here. They're just having a difficult time of getting that puck out effectively. You could see that Mark Bell was trying to jam that puck loose and was effective at doing it. Canada have worked hard in the offensive zone in the corners, but their difficulty has been at trying to get out into the good shooting position to be able to really test Volkov.
Malhotra not able to come up with that puck.
He still can't take a face-off because of that thumb of his that is hurting.
Malhotra and Bout both up there after it. Bout got a piece of it, but couldn't hang on. And Duma clears it out. Bouwmeester got it up to McCarthy. Taps it in. McCarthy storming up there after it. Stumped his man along the boards. Here's Nielsen. Gets a shot. Nielsen down. Up to the corner. Bout after it. And Duma steals for the Russians. Nielsen trying to box him into the corner. And the puck bumped out. Malhotra back after it. Ryazantsev gets it up. Alebnikov in over the blue line. This guy can wheel. Alebnikov down low. Looking for someone in front. Just chips it out there for Boot. Lappin over after it. He was bumped. Alebnikov bumps it down. This is Boot back of the goal. Centers it. Lappin on his knees, not able to get a shot away. And an intentional offside, so they'll move the faceoff all the way back down into Russian territory.
The Russians are so confident at their abilities to control Canada on the outside that they make it very difficult for Canada by taking away the middle of the ice. They know full well that Canada are brave, they're courageous, they'll go outside. But the Russians are so skillful and good skaters and so mobile that they'll then just keep Canada on the outside or else take them out along the boards. It's very difficult to score from the bad scoring angles from the outside, so the Russians continue to take away the best scoring opportunities and take away the middle.
Oh, you're right, and shot after shot coming from those low percentage areas.
Tactically, Russians are extremely confident in their system, and they're playing it to a T. I don't think they have any choice, Paul. If they don't play it, they're going to sit on the bench.
Smirnov got it to the line. Kinch kept it in. Ribeiro going after it. Ribeiro get it across. Pettinger couldn't get the bouncing puck through for a shot. Smirnov clears it in. Zinoviev bumping there with Biron. Kinch comes away with it. Up ahead for Ribeiro. Through traffic. Beats it ahead. Chouinard in over the line. Offside. Called on Canada. Under 5 minutes to play in this third period.
How the years, they fly by, fleeting glimpses, moments in our life. Gotta hold on to them, catch them while you can. These are the moments, these are the moments. JBC holds the moments of our life.
Time ticking down for the Canadian team. Trailing by a score of 3-1.
Canada's been able to continue to get the last line change here, even though they shouldn't. They're the visitors in today's game, but the Russians don't really care about that. They never, ever really have. So do most of the European teams. They just roll them over. Don't get into line matchups.
Hasn't hurt him much. Here's Ryder. Dishing it up. Pass up ahead. Ryder storming down the middle. And got caught up in 3 or 4 Russian players. And the puck cleared up into the Russian bench.
As we've talked about a lot today, Ryder found out exactly that. Trying to come down the middle. He had the right intentions, but look at all of the bodies he had to contend with, folks. And 4 red sweaters against 1. You're not going to win those odds. He ended up fanning on the puck, but that's because someone got a stick on his stick, and that's been the way it is for Canada. Ryder upset, obviously, at the bench. It hasn't gone well for Canada in that department. They have worked hard. They've tried to get into those positions, but you have to compliment the Russians for their great discipline and skill levels here today.
Biron there at the line. Alevnikov rifles one that zings up around the glass and back out. Here's Reed. Fights his way in. And Reed is dumped. Canadian fans wanted a penalty, but they don't get the call there. Icing called on Russia.
And to date, the Russians have scored in this tournament now 33 goals. They have only allowed 5 goals in this tournament. Remember last year when they won the gold, they only allowed 10. We thought that was rather spectacular in 7 games.
Actually, they scored, if you count, they scored 30 in the round robin. They added another 4 in the quarterfinals. So 34 goals heading into this game.
That's correct. Now 37.
But 21 of those goals coming against Kazakhstan and Switzerland. But 3 very important ones in this game.
Well, Malhotra took the face-off. He was just trying to go forward with it. He wasn't trying to pull it back. That's why he could take it.
Bouwmeester.
All offensive hands on deck right now.
Yet the seemingly impossible task of getting 2 back just to send it to overtime. Malhotra. Bout going to the front of the net. Nielsen up there as well. And the puck cleared out. No icing. And check that. One indicating icing, the other not. And it is the icing call against the Russians.
Well, Canada right now realize that within this next minute, they really have got to score a goal. And so their concentration and focus has to be on putting their best offensive players on the ice. Forget about rolling them over anymore. You've got to shorten that bench and get the best guys out there.
World Hockey Challenge, Ontario and Russia. Another Russia-Canadian matchup. Ontario representing Canada's hopes in this one. That comes up right after this game. Off the draw. Puck there for Lundmark. Chopped at it. Didn't get all he wanted in the shot, but got it on goal, forcing another face-off.
Well, and they continue to get the job done right now, trying to get that puck to Volkov. But then they've still got to fight their checks in order to get through to do any damage. Reed's been winning draws. He continues to win them. Let's see if he can win this all-important one.
3:06 to go in this 3rd period.
Terechko is one of their 2 best at winning draws. The other one is Duma.
Puck comes back to Kinch. Kinch just trying to get it in front, but it's tapped away. Biron has to hustle back. Smirnov. Bumped there by Biron. Heatley gets it ahead. Reed out through center. Hits the line. Coming in. Dishes off. Lundmark up towards the corner. Back of the net. Heatley's after it. Puck comes out, but 2 Canadian players were in back of the net. There was no one in front. Zinoviev cutting in towards the net. He's tied up. Biron just clearing it up.
On the previous rush, if Biron hadn't got to the puck, it was a 3-on-1.
Well, all hands on deck now. Might as well commit.
Now it's time to gamble. You've got to score that all-important goal for Canada.
Now walking up. Here's Pettinger. He'll get a shot. Good! Matt Pettinger gives Canada some life. They're down by 1 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go.
Well, just a hard-fought battle again, and they turned over the puck. Pettinger then made a great move to work his way not into a better scoring position, but to give him better control of the puck. Very few times have we seen in this game today where the Russian defense will commit themselves the way that Denisov did. He just went down, and it gave Canada the perfect opportunity. Pettinger was able to get that shot away and beat Volkov.
And in the ensuing celebration right after the goal, Russian coach Peter Vorobiev called everybody over. There was a quick team huddle just to settle things down. How often have we seen it come down to this? Canada and Russia close as they battle to the wire in this semifinal game. Here's McCarthy moving in, gets it across. Bouwmeester there to pick it up. Fires the puck up towards the corner. McCarthy moving in, gets a chance. Puck into the corner, Pettinger after it. Canada, all hands on deck. They're battling away. Chouinard to Pettinger. Only one man back. McCarthy is right up there in the attack. Pettinger bumped along the boards. Here's Ribeiro. Ribeiro and Pettinger just drops on that puck, wants to get a whistle. They jab at it. And finally, play whistle down. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. We will take you back to 1 year ago. It didn't go down to the wire to this extent, but Canada was battling in the third period to come back and force overtime against the Russians, and the hero was Brian Allen. He scored at 13:52 of the third to send it into OT. And they are hoping for one more miracle in this one.
Canada have called a timeout, giving them the opportunity to get regrouped here. They've done a great job at keeping up momentum and scoring that all-important goal. Now they realize that with so little time left on the clock, they needed to get reorganized and make sure that their best players available to them were well rested.
They did not call the timeout. The face-off moved back outside the blue line because Pettinger fell on it in the offensive zone.
McCarthy and Bouwmeester still out there. They've logged a lot of ice time when Canada have needed goals.
McCarthy has been by far Canada's best offensive defenseman. Chicago Blackhawks draft pick, jumping up into the attack. They could use one here. 1 minute to go.
Just spread out, Paul.
And we will keep our eye on Ouellette, who will no doubt head to the bench. Here comes Reed. Ouellette goes to the bench. Reed with a backhand shot, and Volkov will hang on to it. And Canada will get a face-off in the offensive zone with 45 seconds to go, trailing 3-2.
It was interesting the way that the Russians, so confident of their skill level, when Canada were pressing right off the last face-off, they just spread right out. They covered a whole lot of ice out there, opening up the opportunities to make passes and take some of the pressure off themselves on their own end.
And now Canada calls the timeout.
Well, Reed no doubt will be the man that will take the face-off. Malhotra probably would if he didn't have a bad hand, but I would expect that Reed will be the man. You look at the future of Canada's defense in this tournament, it's interesting to see the young 16-year-old out there in a big pressured situation for an awful lot this last 5 minutes.
For the 5th year in a row, it comes down to a late game, crucial situation, if not overtime. The last 4 games between these two teams in this tournament being decided by 1 goal. And this year's edition of Team Canada finding themselves in a very familiar situation. It will be Reed steeling himself for this faceoff. Gets it back to Kinch. Won it cleanly. Gets it over Chouinard. Just fired it wide. That may have been the chance. And Chouinard just drilled it wide. Here's Bouck in the corner. Trying to come out. Back towards the line. Kinch clears it up. Puck rolling around there in front of the goal. Chouinard's up. Rolls it across. Just rolled by the stick there of Bell. Canada still pressing. 20 seconds to go. Reed gets it up. Here's Bouck trying to center it. Bouck battling away. Puck up around the boards. And it comes outside the blue line. An empty net to shoot at. 10 seconds left. Puck thrown in. Bouck moving up after it. Up around the boards. Lundmark. And Canada lose this game by a score of 3-2. What a battle.
Well, they just applied some great pressure at the end especially, but all game long, Canada came up with a very intense effort. And when they needed a goal badly, boy, they sure took the body. They got their opportunities, but unfortunately this time it didn't work. That face-off play right at the end with Reed winning perfectly, and Chouinard, who's got great hands and has scored 3 goals in this tournament, was parked out there. That was their best chance to tie the game up.
Well, the big chance for Canada came off the face-off. Everything worked perfectly. The draw was won cleanly, exactly as you say. Everything worked except the end result.
Right off of the draw, watch Reed. He wins it perfectly. Back to Kinch, and Chouinard was set up right where he was supposed to be on his forehand side. Chouinard with the best opportunity to tie the game up.
So Canada will go for bronze and not gold.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, proud supporters of the CHA.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, I recommend Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Antiperspirant protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear with no flaky white stuff.
How far is the female?
A good 70 yards, mate. I've made longer passes than that before. Right Guard, Clear Gel, and Clear Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
New Nestle Flips. They're completely irresistible.
Ooh, there's an odd number in there. Bad luck. Now it's even.
Roll Gold pretzels and Nestle milk chocolate.
Odd number. Now it's even.
Nestle Flips. What's your excuse?
We are back to even.
New Nestle Flips. They're completely irresistible. Roll Gold pretzels and Nestle milk chocolate.
I'll just eat the broken ones.
Nestle Flips. What's your excuse?
Got it. Breakaway in progress. Shots fired. Time to find out.
Day after grueling day, 2 men face off against the big league.
Guy comes down, he goes there, he goes over to there again.
Shanahan, Sakic, Turgeon, just some of the now NHL household names that have starred in the tournament. In 1988, 86 players competing were drafted by NHL teams. Bure, Sundin, Potvin. Out of 92, Daig and Thibault. 95, Chichuk and Thornton. 97, Sedin, LeCavalier, Malhotra, and Fada. And now the stage is set again for the best under-17 hockey talent the world has to offer. All meeting Team Ontario, Russia in Timmins.
It's a golden one for Canada. Champions. Canada, World Junior Hockey
clear, it is cold, and we welcome